Happy New Year, guys, and welcome to Scorched Earth Tarot. I'm going to do something a little different to usual, and it's only for this round of readings, so bear with me. And I'm recording this as an intro to all of the videos that I'm doing for the beginning of January. If this isn't your bag and you want to skip straight to the reading, have a look at the timestamp in the comment box down there. And the chances are, if you need to skip ahead to the reading without listening to what I have to say, then you're probably not the people that this is addressed to anyway. So it's fine. No shade, and I'm not even slightly offended. You know, you do you. It's all cool. But I have a few things that I wanted to say, and I kind of feel quite strongly that I do need to say this. The first off, I want to express extreme gratitude for waiting for me, because I know that these readings are late, and I'm very grateful to you for that. But also just for being here and joining me. The last 6 months have been a bit of a wild ride, and my life has changed in quite a lot of ways, and you guys are definitely part of that, and I don't think that you quite have any idea how much you've changed my life, so I love it. The reason the videos are late is because Christmas holiday was quite enlightening for me in a lot of ways, as well as the usual stresses and pressures of, you know, the holiday season and whatnot, and having, you know, 5 children, and trying to make special that time, as special as possible that time. I also had some fairly extreme kind of planetary stuff going on, which I wasn't really aware of until it was brought to my attention, and I was quite oblivious to the effects of right up until about, I don't know, the turn of the year. And then it all hit me in kind of like 48 hours. So Peter, if you are watching, all the stuff that you told me suddenly made all sorts of sense. It was kind of an ascension of sorts, and I was panicking a little bit about getting the videos uploaded and all that kind of thing. And then it struck me that what I actually really needed to do was rest and kind of recover from the transformations that had been occurring. So I took time to do that, and I'm sorry if these videos being late negatively affects anyone, but I feel like you will probably understand. So thank you. What else do I have to tell you? I think that's probably just about everything. But I wanted to just record the intro and say, you know, thank you so much for waiting, for subscribing, for watching, for your donations, for your personal reading bookings. And I kind of got slammed with those over Christmas as well. There was a period of about a week where I was getting 15, 20 requests a day, and I am going to work my way through all of those. But with everything else that was going on, it was a little bit overwhelming, and I really needed to retreat. So that's what I've done. But I'm back, and I'm so excited for 2020, I can't even tell you. So yeah, thank you very, very much. I'm extremely grateful for all of you. That's what I was going to say. When you're recording videos and you're saying the same thing over and over again, it starts to feel less authentic, to me anyway. So knowing that I had 12 videos to do, and that I wanted to kind of express this to you all, I wanted to do it once in the spirit that I feel it, without it just becoming a kind of repetitive thing that I'm saying over and over again and starts to lose its feeling over time. So that's what I've done, and it'll only be for this month. Next month it'll be back to usual blather. Yeah, on with your reading. Hi guys, welcome to Scorched Earth Tarot. This is going to be a reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon and Ascendant. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're returning. And well done for making it through the, you know, however long that me blathering at the beginning it was. Yeah, glad to have you here. So let's have a look and see what's going on for you in the month of January. Remember that time is fluid. It doesn't necessarily have to occur between the 1st and the 31st of January. For some people it could be occurring already, maybe even occurred in December. For others it might not come through till February, you know, like, it's just a thing. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Let's have a look and see. So, on 3 cards for Leo for the month of January. I just want to point out that the 6 of Wands, the Leo card, is at the bottom of the deck right there. 3 cards for Leo, please. 3 cards for Leo for January. First card we have is the Magician. Lovely. It's a major arcana. Second card we have is the Hanged Man. Now there's an energy that Leo does not like at all. It's card of Pisces in the major arcana. We have the final card for Leo, please. Actually, shit, do you know what? No. They came out together, so I'm going to read them together. So we want 2 more cards. 2 cards for Leo. Month of January, please. 2 of Swords. Interesting. It's air energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. 1 more card for Leo, please. It's coming up for Leo in January. It's coming towards Leo in January. Got the 8 of Cups. It's leaving things behind. It's water energy. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the 5 of Cups, more water energy. It talks about, in amongst other things, regret. But we'll get to that. So, which deck do I want to use to clarify? I've got so many wonderful decks that I'm going to start using more in my readings. I got like 2 for Christmas as well. Actually, sorry, do you know what? I'm going to use that. This is the Marigold Tarot. My son got it for me for Christmas, and it's absolutely exquisite. Like, I could not have picked a better deck for myself than this. And I didn't even know it existed. He found it all by himself, bless him. Right, let's have a look at this. This Magician and the Hanged Man here. Got the Queen of Cups. That's the Water Queen, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Magician and the Hanged Man. And Judgment. Interesting. So 2 of Swords here, please. Got the Hermit, this card of Virgo, right there. So 2 of Swords here, please. January. And the Page of Rings, that's the Page of Pentacles in a standard deck. I might end up pulling some more cards for this, I think. Where's the 8 of Cups here, please, for Leo for January? It was a veritable splurge of cards as well. And I'm going to show you them, but I'm going to put them back in the deck because there were 3 of them, and I don't want 3 of them. We've got the 5 of Cups, which is at the bottom. It's the shadow card of the standard deck. We've got the Hanged Man that has already come out, and we've got the 10 of Swords here, right? This is a card of endings. This is a card of waiting and submitting. And the 5 of Cups, which talks about regret again. So, and there's the Sun at the bottom of there. I'm going to put all these back in and shuffle them back in because I only want 2 for now. Let's see 8 of Cups here, please. Got the Page of Wands. Right there, that's fire energy. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. I usually attribute that to Sagittarius personally, but I think it's kind of like a wild card for most people. Just a fire wild card. Where's the 8 of Cups here, please, for Leo? the splurging. 6 of Swords and the 9 of Cups. I'll take it. At the bottom of the deck, we now have Death. Right? It's a card of Scorpio in the Major Arcana, but it talks about intense transformation, which is something Scorpios are very good at. But it's interesting that it comes up because it puts me immediately in mind of a reading that I watched this morning on YouTube by a really talented tarot reader called San Tarot, S-A-N. And I watched that and I was actually kind of blown away because she perfectly described what I've been going through over New Year. So if you've been experiencing a transformation of any sort, maybe go check out her Leo reading for January because it is really quite exceptional. So the first 3 cards that we've got, no, the first 2 cards, the Magician and the Hanged Man. I don't actually, it probably has one, but I don't ascribe a zodiac sign to the Magician because I think it's too powerful an energy to belong to just one sign, personally. And this one is the card of Pisces. Now, the Magician is, like I said, incredibly powerful. And he's incredibly powerful because he has dominion over all of the elements, right? In this card, you've got Wands, you've got Pentacles, you've got Cups and Swords. And the idea is that he can manipulate, not in a pejorative way, in a very positive way, all of these elements to bring into existence, to manifest into the 3D anything that he wants, right? He knows the exact combination of things, the intensity to think about things, throwing his will out into the universe. He knows exactly how to do that, and he manifests. But then we've got this Hanged Man here. And the Hanged Man's a really interesting card. I don't like elements of it because I'm a fire sign, and it runs entirely contrary to everything that I enjoy as a fire sign. Oh. But I'm noticing here, I'll hold this up so you can see it. I hope the camera will focus on it. But the entrance to this doorway here has 2 lions either side of the arch. Just there. Right? It looks like a portal. And I like that very much. The Hanged Man is based on the legend of Odin, right? And he hung himself upside down on the Tree of Knowledge for, I think it was 9 days or something like that, in order to gain wisdom by looking at the world in a different perspective. And as I'm saying that, it's all coming together with this. Because I think Leos, as a collective, actually have probably, to a lesser or greater degree, experienced exactly what I have done over New Year. And it's a realization, it's a conscious, a coming to consciousness of your power as a Leo, right? And it's in the past position here. So this has either just occurred or you are literally experiencing it right now, right? And the reason that I love the fact that I've just noticed that there are 2 lions there is that it does feel like we have walked or are walking through something which allows us to recognize the power that we have as these big cats, as the sun, as the expression of the divine on earth, as I read somewhere, which obviously as a Leo, absolutely adore. This new perspective feels very personal. It feels like it's a new perspective about you, about who you are, what you are, the power that you hold, and the influence that you have on the world around you. And the message is it's effectively limitless. The Magician is bound only by the limits of his own imagination, and so it is for you. Walked through a door, changed our perspective on a lot of things, ascended, if you will. I love it so much. The 2 cards that you got to clarify are the Queen of Cups and Judgment. Right? So the Queen of Cups is the Water Queen, and for me, Judgment is another Scorpio card. Scorpio all over this again. But it's important because this energy of transformation is an entirely scorpionic energy. It's intense, just as Scorpio is. And here we've got a Scorpio queen. So it's possible, I'm just going to throw this out there, it's possible that a Scorpio has played some part in your leveling up, your realization of who you are and what you are and how powerful you are and just how fucking limitless you are. But if that's not it, and I feel like that probably is it for quite a few people, then this queen is an aspect of you which you have discovered. Yeah. In this Marigold deck, the cups are depicted as skulls, which I really like, because it, for me, as soon as I looked at it, it gave more notion to the energy and power of love residing deep inside, rather than externally expressed as a, you know, as a manifest object like a cup, like the Queen of Cups in the standard deck with those like crabby claws and stuff. It's inside here. It's inside here. It's inside here. You know, it's not tangible, but it's powerful because it will dictate how you behave, you know, out in the world. And so the Queen of Cups is either your ability now to express the almost limitless love that you feel as a Leo, without fear of squashing people with it. Because before a Leo evolves up, that level of love that we experience can actually be fairly asphyxiating for partners who don't speak the same language. You know, it's oppressive almost, and it can manifest in things like jealousy and possessiveness and all those kind of things, you know, and low self-esteem, because Leos do suffer from low self-esteem. High confidence, low self-esteem is a terrible combination, and it's one that it takes quite a lot of working through. And here we have two cards that talk about leveling up and walking into that power. Now, like the power of the lion is love. You know, the energy of the universe is love, as far as I'm concerned. You know, and that's what makes us the expression of the divine on earth. It's this ability to do it. So we can hold it here. You know, it's this kind of this disc behind the skull. It looks to me like a sun. And this skull's cracked wide open with this beautiful flower sitting inside it. And it's love for yourself as much as being able to express it out. And that's the important thing. So you develop that love for yourself, that sense of your own worth, your own value, all of those kind of things. Then you can let all of this love out, and it doesn't have to focus on one person. It literally can focus on everyone that you have any kind of interaction with, anywhere. Everything else just falls away. And then we've got this card Judgment. Now there are lots of stock interpretations for this card, and honestly I'm not seeing any of them right here. What I'm seeing with this card, and my God, I'm going to say it again, I love this deck so much, my son did such an incredible job, is that this person here is speared by arrows and has fallen to his knees. This person behind them, it's difficult to see whether they're trying to push them down or pull them up. I think it's trying to push them down. And for me, the Leo in this card is this person here. This person speared by arrows. This person collapsed to their knees. This person being, you know, fucking pushed down by somebody else. And it's you, because this is what you have experienced. And I would put money on probably experienced since the summer of 2017, when the eclipse season started and Leo's got battered with it. You know, there's been suffering, there's been pain, there's been wounding, there's all of these things. There's been people literally trying to shove you down to the ground. And you've transformed. as a result. You know, this card is talking to me about channeling the pain and the wounding into something really quite beautiful. And going out into the world with that now. You know, it's been perhaps a test of some description, or maybe it's been the trigger that the Leos needed to really level up. It's absolutely exquisite. There have been times in the last 2.5 years, I would say, where we felt like we were done. We felt like we could not be our true selves anymore. And what we've done is we've thrown off the shackles of lots of things around us, and they could be people, but they could be societal constructs as well. You know, they could be a bit of everything. It could even be the way that we speak to ourselves. You know, the way that we understand ourselves. You know, all of these things is the nasty words that we say to ourselves all the time. I mean, how many friends would you keep if you actually spoke to them the way that you speak to yourself? None. Right? There's an acceptance. There's been a submission to the pain, to the wounding, to the anger, to the frustration, to the resentment. There's submitted to it all. Seen it for what it is, and slowly and carefully, probably over the course of 2018, rebuilt yourself, and you are so strong now. You are so solid. You know exactly who you are and what you're about. I can't tell you how much I love it. The next card you've got is the Two of Swords. Now, the Two of Swords is about making a choice. Yes, right? But for me, it's usually an intellectual choice, because the swords are words, the communication, you know, the thoughts, they're those thought patterns that I was just talking about. It's communication, ideas from one head to another, or even between one bit of ourselves and the other. And there's water in the card, and there's a moon in the card, but she stands with her back to both of them, right? And I don't like that about this card, because I feel like if you're not making choices intuitively, then you're denying yourself a level of understanding that could be open to you. Because these two swords, they have equal validity. You know, these represent the choice that she's got, and they're identical swords. You know, they look the same, they feel the same, they weigh the same. They've got, you know, they're both in the same level of, mine's just gone blank, condition. Yeah? They're in the same condition. No nicks, blood stains, things like that. So it's like a willful blinding. But more than that, it feels like you know exactly what decision that you need to make, and you're procrastinating from making it because of whatever the swords represent to you. There's an element of fear, and there's an element of things that are perhaps hidden. And I feel like these things are hidden in you. They're not hidden from you. And the two cards that you've got are the Hermit and the Page of Rings. And I said it's the Page of Pentacles. Now, usually when I see the swords, I interpret it as either or. Right? Either the Hermit or the Page of Swords. Page of Rings, beg your pardon. Which is Earth energy. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. But the Hermit is Virgo energy as well. And we've got a major and a minor arcana. These are both Earth energy. And actually, now I'm looking at them, I feel like they would both constitute nicely options in a decision that's a bit of a no-brainer, that you've actually already made. Right there. the major and the minor. So the Hermit is all about going within. Right? It's about analysing everything, actually, because it's a Virgo card. It's about analysing motivations, behaviours, other people's motivations and behaviours, but really going within. But more than that, it's kind of standing still. It's being still. It's being mentally still. Because quite often, what's going on, you know, in the water, what's going on with the moon, which is your water, which is your intuition and your feelings and all that kind of thing. You just need to stay still for long enough for those things to come out, because the moon communicates. It's your intuition, it's your subconscious. It communicates with you when you are still. And so you may be having some dreams at the moment that are kind of boggling your mind, because there are things being thrown up that you cannot really identify the source of at the moment, you know. Maybe you're spending a bit of time travelling about in 5D and you're not even aware of it. The Hermit's often depicted, in fact mostly depicted, as kind of walking off into a cave, or, you know, stood at a cliff top or something like that. And the light is in front of him and he's travelling, you know, guided by this light forwards into a dark place. This dude here, he sat down, right, and the light is effectively behind him. It's about being still and listening to what your subconscious is trying to tell you. It's letting the answers come to you. It's not about going and finding those answers. It's more submission. It's more waiting. Energies that Leos aren't comfortable with, generally speaking. It's lighting a beacon, is what it is. And sitting still and staying quiet and letting the answers come in. Because then we have the Page of Rings, and for me, the Page of Rings, or the Page of Pentacles as it is, it's about truly understanding the value of something. Because there was a point, right, literally seconds before the Page of Pentacles plucked the pentacle off the ground, or the ring, or, you know, whatever it is, before they had absolutely no idea about what that was worth, you know, what the value of that thing was. And then they hold it in their hands, and by God, it's the most amazing and beautiful thing that they've ever seen. And they dedicate their life to creating more of those things. Now, that can be resources and money and stuff like that, but I'm really, over the course of the last few months, I've stopped seeing the Page of Pentacles as talking about resources of that description. It's truly about appreciating value. And because it's a page and it's right at the bottom of the court hierarchy, it's the beginning of a new journey. Right? A new journey to fill your life with whatever these pentacles symbolise to you. You remember I said I was probably going to pull a couple more cards. This was the thing that I was talking about. Because that in and of itself isn't a decision that you need to make. And maybe it is. Maybe you need to choose to do this. But why would you not? What about this choice? What about this choice? What about this choice? We've got the Four of Swords and the Star. And now I've pulled these two cards, I see the choice indicated by the two things. Because the Four of Swords is a card of staying still too. It's about taking a break, a moment of repose, if you will. And it's more communication. And this is really interesting. I love this deck as well. This is the John Bower deck. I love this card because there are no swords depicted on there, but there is communication, right? And there's communication with an other, you know. Now that could be your higher self, that could be your subconscious, that could be a visitor, you know. Maybe you have some spectral visitors. Whatever it is, it's not corporeal. This is about having a conversation with something that's not obviously there. And it fits with a hermit, you know. This dude's in bed. Whatever this is, it's come to see him. Yeah? Just as the hermit has stayed still and wait for things to come to them. The Page of Rings, by definition, implies a level of movement, right? Standing still right now, but he's getting ready to move. Because he's discovered the value of these things and he wants to create more of these things, but also because pages, they move. That's what they do. Not as fast as a knight, but they move. And we've got the star, which is the sign of Aquarius. It's not the star, it's the moon. Well, shit. Beg your pardon. So it's Pisces or Cancer. But there's movement here, under the light of the moon, again. We've got internal and we've got external, but tinged with internal. I think, honestly, that you've experienced something really profound and it's not yet done. And I think that you're feeling just a little bit lost at the moment. I don't think that you quite know which direction that you need to go in with all of this newfound things that you have, you know, insights, the ability to communicate with yourself. And some people say the subconscious is your higher self, you know, that connection between the two. Or that, you know, accessing your subconscious is the route that you take to talk to your higher self. There's a knowing that you have to stay still, and there's a pull to move. And I think that the reason that you're having the conflict is because you know that there is more to be revealed. You know, the moon talks about things that are hidden, and we've got the moon there, and we've got the moon on this card here. And the Hanged Man tried to come out again. You know that there's more to come. And I think that you need to sit still, no matter how much you want to move. Because what's coming up at the end of January is the Eight of Cups. Yeah. Notice how the moon is there again. Now, the cups talk about feelings, they talk about emotions, and you know, as you can imagine, 8 cups takes quite a bit to pull together. You know, you don't just happen across 8 cups. You have to put time and energy and effort into creating those. But this dude, for whatever reason, and I'll tell you what the reason is in a second, has donned his cloak and he's got his staff, and under the light of the moon, he's leaving all of these cups behind. Whatever investment he put into these cups, he is no longer getting any kind of emotional satisfaction from them. And so this is not a difficult leaving. This is not a hard thing to do for him, because the thing that kept him there in the first place is now gone, and that's that emotional connection to whatever these are. And you notice that there's a space that's very obviously missing there for one more cup, right? And that's the Ace of Cups. And when you add that to the mix, and increasingly I'm starting to see the Ace of Cups as love for self. Stick it in there and you've got 9, which is wish fulfillment. This dude, he's not happy with the situation as it is, not happy with the status quo, not happy with all the things that it built. He's going to go off and find his wish. And that's what's coming up for you towards the end of January. And it's going to be easier than you think it will, frankly. You know, maybe there's a person. You know, the Leo readings towards the end of last year were all about somebody coming back. Maybe this person hasn't quite arrived yet, but they're coming soon. And when they do arrive, you realise that all this effort that you put in, all of these things, they're just, you know. And that's why the delay had to happen, because you had all of this ascension stuff to go through first. Maybe the mere notion of them coming back was enough to level you up, and maybe it was a Scorpio. That's quite possible, because we've got all of this stuff going on here. But when they get here, you're just like, I'm not entirely sure why I spent so much time and emotion on worrying about this situation, because you do not hold what I need anymore. And off you go. And then these 3 cards that splurged on here. Oh, look at this deck. It's so beautiful. We've got the Page of Wands, the 6 of Swords, and the 9 of Cups. Right. We'll go through them in order. Page of Wands, fire energy, right? Just like the Page of Pentacles, it's the lowest rung of the court hierarchy. It's a new start, it's a new beginning. And I love the Page of Wands. It's fire energy, so it's us. Right? This is, of all the pages, this is the one that's the most excited. It's the one that's the most adventurous. It's the one that's going to go to the furthest places and see the most dramatic things. Yeah, and he's got a job to do. He's a page, you know, he's got to go and envoy messages between his king and other kings in different kingdoms and stuff like that. But what excites him most about the job that he has is the fact that he gets to go and experience these new things and meet these new people and experience. You know, and that's what Leos love. That's what fire energy loves. You know, the Page is wonderful energy for Leos because there's a fixed element to it. The Page must return, you know, to his king. So he's got a base, and Leo's like that. But he gets to go off and do amazing things and then come back. And this is you. You know, you're literally walking away from something and towards something else. And then we have the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords is about leaving situations behind. Both of these are about leaving situations behind. The difference between them is quite nuanced. But for me, this one, now in the standard deck, you've got a woman and a child huddled in a boat, looking very, very sad. You know, being kind of manoeuvred from choppy waters into calmer waters. Yeah. Leaving behind something that was emotionally choppy into something that is much more calm, much more sedate, much more like, you know, what makes you happy. And sometimes I look at that card and I think that the swords in the boat at some point will rupture that boat, cause it to spring a leak. Because swords are words and ideas and thought processes and things like that. You know, it's like you're moving away physically from a situation, but you're taking all of those things that can wound you with you. And the flip side of that is you taking the emotion, the experiences with you, things that you've learned with you. But if you don't take those swords out of the boat from where they're wedged at some point and then patch up the holes, kind of in dangerous waters. But that's not implied by this card here. You know, there are 4 little knives and there's one great big fuck off machete here. right? And I feel like this is your energy moving forwards, and you're not using it as a weapon to wound yourself. I look at that and I see something to chop down, fucking jungle with, something really useful. You have learned a lot from whatever it is that you've been through, what maybe you continue to be going through now. And armed with this knowledge, you're prepared to walk away from things that don't emotionally gratify you anymore, and go forwards with an exciting new energy and the tools to ease your way forwards towards what? Your Nine of Cups. It's literally come out as a clarifier for the Eight of Cups. You're moving away from those and towards these, your wish fulfillment. And the overall message from the entire reading is that you have empowered yourself to be able to undertake this journey to find your Nine of Cups. You've empowered yourself, you've armed yourself with everything that you could possibly need, including a big Mac-off machete for cutting down, I don't know, bamboo, or whatever's blocking your way is going to get shifted, whether it likes it or not. And and I couldn't be happier about it. I think it's wonderful. So I'm going to leave it there. If this resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd let me know. And certainly, it's resonating with me. So, do all the thing, and Happy New Year and all that, Leo. Love you all to bits.